Welcome to LeaderOne Live, where we bring the experts to you.
Welcome back, everyone, to LeaderOne Live. I am Alice Lund, and we are here today with special guests Sam Bakeris and Bethany Neely with HomeBot. Here they come. Welcome, guys. It's so good to see you. I know it's taken us a little while to get this scheduled, so I'm so happy we're making it happen.
Yeah, thanks, Alice. We're excited to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You guys are, one of our favorite partners. I know you have a lot of people, a lot of loan officers signed up at LeaderOne, and it's a great engagement tool for us. And I think something that the loan officers love about it is, the engagement rate and the amount of feedback and requests that we get that come from your platform. So maybe, for potentially loan officers and people that aren't familiar with your platform, maybe we should start by you guys just explaining a little bit about what HomeBot does.
Yeah, I can grab that one. HomeBot is a homeownership intent platform. What we actually and what our goal and mission is to engage with your clients on every aspect of the home buying, home owning process. So starting with our nationwide listing coverage, your buyers and prospects can go into HomeBot and search through there, find their home. Once they've made that purchase, they can receive a HomeBot home report every 30 days from you. And that's really what HomeBot was built on. It was a home report to show homeowners what's going on with my largest asset right now. How much is it worth? If I wanted to refi right now, what could I do? Or better yet, if I wanted to buy another home, what does that look like? But the goal is to make sure you are connected to your clients through every step of the process and your agent partners. So you can partner with agents inside of HomeBot to make sure your clients' trust and sphere of influence is all connected.
Awesome. So let's dive into that a little bit more. I know you guys have some exciting stats back to the engagement that occurs with those. I would call them kind of a CMA that comes out monthly. But Bethany, talk to us a little bit about that engagement and the way that clients interact with the email that they receive.
Yeah, definitely. So we send to 10 million users per month on the homeowner side. Of those 10 million users, we have around a 70 to a 75% open rate of the email, which I'm sure you know is significantly higher than the industry average. And then if you take it one step deeper, we're really interested in the click-through or the engagement rate. So how many of those homeowners are clicking on the call to action that says see your value, and they're actually going into the report, they're engaging, they're scrolling, they're reaching back out to their loan officer if they have any questions. That is around a 40% engagement rate. So I always say, think of HomeBot as a numbers game. The more clients you can get in there, obviously, the more conversations, the more business you're going to see come through.
So, and thinking about this isn't necessarily a tool that loan officers and, realtors can only use for people that you've transacted with, because it really, it has value for anyone who owns a house, right?
Definitely. I always say sphere of influence, friends, family, loan officers love adding their neighbors. We have nationwide coverage. So as long as we're able to pull the data on that property, we can send the report out to that individual.
Okay. So, and are you guys, do you work most directly with mortgage companies and loan officers, and then kind of act as a liaison between them and their realtor partners, or kind of similar to like maybe a list reports platform where the agent has to be tied to a loan officer? Or how does it work that an agent or a realtor can have a HomeBot account either with or without a lender?
Yeah, Sam, I can take that one if you want me to. So we are a lending first platform. Like when we were created in 2015, 2016, it was specifically to sell to loan officers. And you'll kind of notice that throughout the report, because a lot of the modules are a little bit more financial focused. But the co-sponsorship piece is a huge feature for us. Sam, keep me honest here. I think we might have like 4 times the amount of agents, maybe even more than loan officers on the platform, but it's likely due to the cost. It is significantly cheaper on the agent side. We do sell directly to agents by themselves, but they do have to pay twice the amount if they are not co-sponsored with a lender. So the value add to be partnered with a lender is like the most important part for us in that co-sponsorship model. They get cheaper pricing, but they also get access to all of our features. If an agent isn't partnered with a lender on HomeBot, They can really only add homeowners. They don't get access to the buy side, the mobile app, some of the customizations. So our theory on the back end is that you really need to be partnered together to get the best experience out of the software.
So like, what are some of your favorite features that maybe a realtor would have if they're partnered with a lender that they wouldn't get otherwise?
Ooh. Sam, I'm going to give that to you because I feel like we might have differing answers here.
I'd say we probably similar, maybe a little different. I think if I was a real estate agent partnered with loan officer on HomeBot today, kind of the two big pieces in my mind. First is going to be that search feature. You're only going to have access to that as a real estate agent if you're partnered with a lender. If you're not, you only get access to those home reports. So I think that's the first big one. We know today keeping your clients off of Zillow, Redfin, any of those big platforms is important to keep your sphere of influence. So engaging through that way and allowing them to have a search feature where they can see all the same listings, but it's all private to that sphere is key to making sure that client comes back around. And I think the other big piece, and Bethany, you might be able to talk to this better than me, but the video aspect, engaging with clients through video is more important than ever. And we've been talking about it for 5, 6, 10 years now. I mean, when I started at HomeBot, I had my first video I made. It's a little bit cringy like everybody else's, but once you make a few of them, you realize they're not that scary to make. And it gives so much more personality to you as a professional than if you're just sending an email out.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys have been so gracious to, help us train some of our partners on the value of HomeBot. I'm really starting to focus on it because just in looking for tools that, I think are really of value to agents. I mean, it's definitely valuable to us. So we have the integration where if we've got a closed client, it automatically goes into HomeBot from our Total Expert account. But having something for the agent where they can have this, this basically a CMA to send out to potential clients and close clients on a monthly basis, I think it really does add a lot of value. And it's something that a lot of them wish they could do in some fashion, but, aren't doing currently. So that's great. The other thing that I love about HomeBot is we've migrated away from a couple of different platforms that we've used to, look at our real estate offices that we're wanting to work with and trying to identify top producers, but just to see the intel, I think it's called Partner Intel in HomeBot. That gives us an idea of, who's performing in an office, how many buy sides versus sell sides they're doing, and like which transaction, if they're working more with one specific lender. But have you guys been focusing on building that out a lot over, I guess, the last 6 to 12 months? Because I feel like your data has really gotten more robust.
Yeah, more like the last 2 or 3 years. So I was going to say, Alice, thank you for saying that because it has been years in the making. So we did release Partner Intel kind of to a small group of beta users last summer. It is ready to go to market at this point, but the data has gotten significantly better. Our thought process behind it was that we have direct access to a lot of MLSs on the search side. We do have our own brokerage just to be able to pull as many listings as possible. So we thought we can get these listings a little bit quicker than others with that direct access, but also why don't we just integrate Partner Intel within the core HomeBot experience and allow loan officers an easier experience to get there, but also long-term, hopefully consolidate their tech stack, which sounds like maybe you all have. It's been a great learning experience, I would say. With that year of beta testing, there were a lot of updates that needed to be made. But my favorite part now, compared to some of the other tools on the in the industry, is that you can search your agents on there, but you can also see if they're either not on HomeBot, maybe they're currently on HomeBot with a different co-sponsor, or maybe they're on HomeBot and they still are looking for someone to partner with. You're able to actually click a button and invite them directly within the platform without having to go outside of it.
Gotcha. Now, how does that work when if a lender is partnered up with a real estate agent? Can then they see that realtor's database? Is there shared visibility there, or is the agent able to kind of protect the integrity of their contacts?
Yeah, I would say both. So they're able to see what subscription they're on, how many clients they've loaded, and then how those emails are performing. So I mentioned that engagement, the click-through rate, they can see that, but they're not able to see the client's personal information. And obviously that's just due to RESPA reasons. But if, let's say, your team and an agent are partnered together and you both add the same client, we do consider that a shared client, and they are able to see that because we want to make sure that ultimately the client's only receiving one report for the agent, just so we can brand you throughout those financial modules again.
Okay, so like if we had a loan officer that had a huge database, does the subscription that comes for a loan officer, does it come with a max amount of contacts? Is there a way to expand that? How does that work? And for agents as well, do they have a certain limit on the amount of contacts they can load?
Yeah, that really depends. One of the biggest value adds for being on like an enterprise partnership like LeaderOne is that you're not typically limited to, say, 500 clients if you were to just go directly to our website and sign up as an individual LO. We kind of let you all police how that's divvied up if you want to, obviously give the top performers a little bit more space. But we leave it all up to you all. But on the agent side, they do get 500 clients. But I mentioned before, it's significantly cheaper. It's $25 a month. So if they have a bigger database, I think it's $10 a month to add an additional 500. So just a lot cheaper to get them on the platform. And typically we've seen they just have smaller books of business than loan officers to begin with.
So on the video, I know you talked about realtors being able to use the video. Do your lender partners, do they have the ability to upload video content too? And is that just like a header at the top of the email, or is there different places throughout the platform where they would have videos?
Yeah, Sam, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I got it. So kind of two different areas there. As a lender, you're going to have about 18 different places inside of the report to make videos, and those are going to be more general videos, right? So in our refi section, you make a video talking about where rates are at today and if it would make sense to do that. Or, for instance, putting one in the home equity line of credit section. There's a few different places to make sure you're able to provide kind of that general knowledge, but then entice them to click that button to schedule a meeting or send a message. So you start that conversation, and then video email is kind of the other big aspect there. So let's say, for instance, rates drop to 0 tomorrow. I know that's not going to happen. We're all hoping for it. But if they did, put together a video email and you can shoot that out to all of your homeowners, and it'll pop up inside of that so they can click play right when they click into that home report.
Yeah, so it really depends. Do you want someone to have to kind of go digging for it in the report, or do you want to be able to blast it out to all of your audience as an additional touch point?
Exactly.
Okay. So then how would it work if a loan officer wanted to sign up? Do you have the ability to I'm sure do a demo for them, and then can they send over a mass file and you can upload their contacts, or how does that typically work?
Yeah, are you asking for LeaderOne specifically?
Well, LeaderOne, and then anyone else listening, I guess, or watching.
Yeah, it's really simple. So we're definitely willing and able to demo if someone needs a full product demo, or a team does, or even the agent side does. But if someone is not signed up today and they want to sign up moving forward, LeaderOne, I believe, has a form internally. Steven on the marketing team will create that profile, and then through the Total Expert integration, he's actually able to drag and drop everyone into a specific group NTE that will flow into HomeBot overnight. So the goal with the integration is to make it as easy as possible. I feel like if we have customers that don't have an integration on, that's the biggest hurdle on the LO and the agent side is if you don't have that spreadsheet handy, if it's not cleaned up, it can be really time consuming to get those into HomeBot. So I always say the biggest thing is you just have to make sure when you're getting your account set up, you have everyone in there. That is the most important thing. And then moving forward, as soon as you close a client, they will flow into HomeBot overnight through the integration.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have some just star students out there that have really adopted the platform and used it heavily and really, built out all the tools and everything that's in there at their disposal. Do you have any success stories or anything you'd like to share about clients that have received a lot of success from their using the platform?
Yeah. Oh, I have a good one from a couple of weeks ago. This is very specific, but I work with a pretty big lender on the East Coast, so I don't think they're too much of a LeaderOne competitor at the moment. But I was on a call with this guy who did loans for 3 generations of one family because I think he did the middle generation first, which was like it was the husband and wife. And then the mom ended up closing. So the grandma, like I think years later, but when they were at the closing table, the daughter, so it would have been the granddaughter, was there with the grandma. And she was like, oh, I want to sign up for HomeBot. I'm interested. And that ended up, the loan officer got 3 generations, and he contributed it to HomeBot initially.
That's awesome. That's
yeah. But if you're asking more high level, I always say, I know this sounds like so cliche, but the loan officers that get the most deals from HomeBot, they just reply in a timely action. Like they're not using it as just a set it and forget it tool. When they get the email notifications of those high intent actions, like the direct message, the CMA request, someone favorites a listing, either them or someone on their team who's delegated to run their HomeBot account is just following up in a timely action. And they're making sure they get to them before their competition. And then if we have like some really top performers, I think I shared with your agents a couple of weeks ago that Keller Williams testimonial video. The agent got 15 listings from 1 year in HomeBot. And she actually has a team that runs her account, but they have a very strategic follow-up process. So they're taking the Monday leaderboard email. They're seeing who their most engaged homeowners and buyers are for the week. And let's say like Wednesday morning is their follow-up day for HomeBot. They're literally just picking up the phone, checking in. So I say, the easiest way to like work your HomeBot account is just make sure you have a process in place. And then I feel like it's not as overwhelming when you see a lot of that engagement come in. You just know how to follow up with it in a timely and a quick manner.
Systems and processes. That's it with any piece of technology. So for sure. That's great. So maybe just to close it up, is there anything that's on the horizon for HomeBot, any new development or tool that you're hoping to roll out anytime in the future?
Oh yeah, we have a lot. I'll cover a couple, and Sam, I'll let you wrap it up there. But we did have, I'm not sure if I told you this a couple weeks ago, Alice, but our co-founders are back in the driver's seat at HomeBot. So there's 3 of them. They left a couple of years ago and they came back this winter. So there's just like a new level of excitement. And they have very big ideas. So it's just taken us a little bit to get our roadmap out the door for 2025. I would say 2 of the biggest ones, we're calling it database optimization. I always say orchestration, it's optimization, where we're thinking about instead of limiting how many clients can go into a HomeBot account, we actually want your entire database. And we want to be able to work in the background and figure out who needs full access, who wants to receive their monthly report, who's fully engaged, versus maybe some people have been on the platform for a few years. They're starting to cool off a little bit. Maybe they've even unsubscribed, but there's still value in keeping them in your account because you're still going to get the listing alerts. You're still going to be able to get the other actionable data on them without being charged the full amount. Our thought process behind it was that, keep me honest, Alice, but usually when you have 1 closed client, there's like 4 pre-quals that didn't close. So it's like a 1-to-4 ratio. So we're like, why aren't you dumping everyone in there instead of, being very limited to who's actually getting that report on a monthly basis? So that is like the number 1 product update that is coming soon. And then the second is what we're calling HomeBot Network. So right now we sell to loan officers and real estate agents, and we are extending to insurance and title agents.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking that, and maybe even like home improvement and things like that as well. There's other industries where people, of course, anyone's curious to know what the value of their home is. That's the beauty of that email. It's like, oh, how much? So
just like a lot of new channels, but there's a lot of product work that's had to be done on the back end to kind of see how we can brand all of them within one report and how we map them out. Sam, I'll let you cover like the AI and a couple others. I know I'm forgetting one.
No, that's great. I mean, I just wanted to double down on the database piece. One of the big ideas there, we know there's been friction in the past, right? Okay, which 500 do I put into my HomeBot account? Who do I want to engage with? And the idea there is let us take the friction away. Let's get everyone in there and make sure there's no opportunity and no client left behind, is how I like to say it. Because we all know, like Beth, you mentioned, for every 1 closing, there's 4 pre-quals that didn't go anywhere. Let's re-engage with them. Maybe it's because we know the market was tough the last few years. They were waiting on rates. I was reading an article the other day talking about how many folks in the millennial and Gen Z generation that are looking at 2025 as when they're going to buy their home, even though they've been looking, and this is the time to re-engage with them. And And then the other piece with AI, starting to kind of optimize that, right? Who should be receiving a full home report versus who should just kind of be in the waiting room getting ready, right? So we know we can switch those out and make sure you guys are getting the most bang for your buck there. And then a few other pieces with AI, but I don't think we're ready just yet to start unrolling all of that.
And then one more I'll add, because we've gotten a lot of feedback about this, is rolling out like a full mortgage calculator, kind of similar to Zillow or some of the other platforms out there. But we're making a lot of updates on the search side, and that's been like one of the biggest pieces of feedback I've heard in the last year.
Well, there's about 2 billion mortgage calculators out there.
Yeah.
They all say different things. So
yeah.
Well, thank you guys both so much for coming on. I'm so glad that we were able to make this happen. We love HomeBot, and it's a great tool. We look forward to more demos, more meetings with our agents, and just continuing to work with you guys as time goes on.
Yeah, thanks, Alice. I'm excited to partner with you more too.
Have a good day. Thanks, guys.